being. Ever go to a party and you meet somebody and seconds later you can't think of right? It's kind of weird when people lie to you. Because you know what we all do and we're guilty of. It's not your fault that you remember the name. They didn't make it memorable. What's interesting, it means you didn't make it memorable. How different would it be if you're at a party and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I remember that person's name. Because if you're like me, you said hello and I walk around going, God, there's no name tags. And you just said hi, and he's got a funny accent, what's his name? Judgment, yeah. But I don't like that, so I created something. So number one, I'm going to make it your responsibility. So first of all, it's, hey, I'm high on Forbes writing. Forbes is the magazine. What did I just say to you subtly? I just associated myself with a rich, powerful, successful magazine. I took your hand long enough and I stopped for a moment because we're all so busy. I looked you in the eye and I made it memorable, as opposed to, hi, my name is Luna, nice to meet you. All I remember is the nice to meet you part. There's no money in nice to meet you. But there is money in that moment when you meet someone. So I just did this with, where's Justin? Justin, come here for a second. So we just did this, right? Most of the time I can make it work. And here's the cool thing, I'm just giving this to you as a gift, but I've been developing this as a system. Come here for a second. It doesn't actually matter what you say. It's the fact that you took a moment of being really real and planted your name in somebody else's moment in their face for a second. So we just did this with Justin. Hey, what's your name?
Justin, just in case you need more business. I'm your man.
I'm going, dude, I want Justin. And now it's kind of stuck in my head, going, Jeff, that's kind of awesome. You planted it. Come here. This is kind of cool. Yeah. Hey, brother, what's your name?
Kelly Cole.
Yep.
Like Nat King Cole. Unforgettable.
It's okay with everybody. So if some of you guys have a funny accent, not going anywhere. Well, but I discovered something else. If you're not American, you don't understand how Americans think. We look at people, come here, we look at people like who have this weird way of talking, and we go, no, but we're very shallow as Americans. We go, wow, is he Swedish, English, and Australian? Don't people start guessing where you're from?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. That's what we do.
New
So
Zealand, right?
New Zealand.
No, it's not reverse, it's not English.
But wouldn't it be nice if you could shut that down quickly? So one of my clients, a guy named his name is Henry. He's like, everybody calls me Henry. I said, of course they do, because we know the beer, right? Here's what he does now. Hi, my name is Henry. That's Henry in Swedish. Oh, good. Done, handled, you can move on. So it just helps a little bit. So, hey, what's your name?
You want me to go something?
I don't know.
With Anthony?
Well, it could be Anthony, could be McCarthy.
I'm dumbstruck for once, man.
And that's okay.
Huh? No.
He doesn't know his name. Well, that's a huge problem.
I thought my name's Tony. McCarthy. I'm Irish. And you can't pronounce my name.
And it doesn't, it doesn't always work. Something doesn't always come to me as quickly as it for Justin Kelly. Do you like people calling you Tony?
Yep.
Tony McCarthy.
Yep.
Which could be Italian, but it's not Irish.
Very good.
I know that sounds silly, but just that little thing, because Tony doesn't sound Irish. Yeah, you know. I could be Italian, but I'm Irish. Done. Now we know that's kind of cool. But you took a moment to go bam when you said it. Now, anybody else want to do their names? One of the persons.
Sure. I'm cool.
That's easy. Okay. All right. So hi, and give it a try on your own for a second. What's your name?
Tom Cool, as in ice cream.
You knew I was going to do this.
You know, I had a client, her name was Olivia. And she said, what can you do with my name? I said, well, you can say my name is Livia, like Livia, but not be like Olivia without the O, except sometimes. So yours, please don't ask me to lick you. Yeah, but actually, that's an interesting thing. So Tom Cook. I think there's something kind of funny in there. So you don't want to say the feature, though. The feature is like ice cream, but how would you tie it back to what you do?
Oh, I'm cool.
You're cool.
I'm just cool.
But I'll tell you, if you said, I'm kind of like the ice cream cone. Doesn't that just give you a second of going, yeah, and I'm cool? I don't know, it's funny.
I try to meet 10 people. So I'm Tom, I'm cool. Cool as in ice cream. On traffic. But cool as in ice cream, because I'm cool.
Because you're cool. So the next thing I'm just going to give you is the next thing people ask you is what?
What do you do?
What do you do?
Why do you do it?
No, I don't care why you do it. Nobody cares why you do it. And in fact, in my experience, they don't care what you do either. Ever shake somebody's hand and say, what do you do? They're like, oh my God, I do so many things. Oh my God, I don't really care. We don't ask you what you do because we care what you do. We care what you can do for me. And I will tell you that everything will change in your life and your business if you can get a yes out of that person in 2 sentences. Wow. So try this for me. You did this yesterday? Yeah, wait, come here for a second. So, hey, what are you doing?
I'm a funnel designer, $1 million funnel.
Okay, so I'm an average person, and I don't know that funnel is not a cake. No, I'm not kidding. Pretend you're talking to stupid. Because the first thing you want to go is, how can I make money off this person? How can I connect this person, build rapport? So I don't know what the funnel is. And if you just guess, I don't really care. Try again.
I'm Henry, I can help you make $1 million.
You know what's so open about that? Is I have no idea what it wants me to do for $1 million. Debbie Moore got sick. Like, dude, I don't know, I want the money that bad. Try it again. So here's one of the things that I do. You know, I host television shows and I have all kinds of other things. When I meet somebody, I found the simplest thing for me. It's just absolutely different. I created the greatest stories about the planet. Want to see it? Hey, sure. Yeah, sure. You know what we just did? We just developed a little report. It's going to give me $30. I'm going to make you smile, and we have a relationship. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Well, you could never ask that question, what do you do?
Well, you can, but people ask you all the time.
So people ask me, I wrote a book called Kill the Elevator Speech, Stop Selling, Start Connecting.
Okay.
So this is my keynote speech. So one of the things that, so when you meet people at an event, like usually I lead off events like this, so it's weird to be at the end and everybody's leaving now. But so two things. So you don't ever ask anybody what they do, because then people, like here in this room, most of us are like, oh yeah, do some stuff and it's cool. But out, like other people in the rest of the world, they're like, oh, I should have, or if you've ever in this moment thought you should have an elevator speech and you didn't, congratulations, you didn't need one. Because that's not how you connect with somebody else, right? So don't ever ask what do you do, because the people who have an elevator speech will verbally vomit on you. We don't want that, right? So don't ask that. Ask a 5-word question. How did you get started? That's it. How did you get started? So how did you get started in TV? Like, how did that happen? And then,
Oh, well, I would give you a really long-ass winded answer that you don't want.
but what happens in that moment is you start to tell me your story, and what do we know about sales?
Listen.
When you're listening, the other person loves you. When you're listening, the other person loves you. And so now all of a sudden, you may tell me a whole long thing, we'll walk away, I might not have said more than those 5 words to you, you'd be like, gee, let's go. Because I just listened to you, I asked you to tell me your story, I asked you to tell me something about you. We had a connection in that moment where you're like, wow, she's interested in me as a person, not like, and didn't ask me the businessy thing.
But you know what? I'm going to challenge you, Felicia, because
Okay.
I don't care. I personally don't want to hear your story. Not interesting? I actually don't. You know what I want in that moment, so I think people ask? I actually think I want to be able to put you in a bucket very quickly. By the way, when I asked Matt Basic what his name was, he said Joe. Really? And Matt said, I don't ever want to tell anybody what I do at all on any level. I said, that's perfect. Because he doesn't want to engage them. So I actually don't want, so it's interesting. I think what you're doing is cool. I just don't want to hear your story. I want to know instantly, oh, in my own brain. You're a marketer, that's great. You're a father, that's great. You sell toasters, that's cool. Then I know how much I actually want to spend time
Because
with you.
people remember 2 to 4 words about you. And so that's what we're looking for. What are the 2 to 4 words where when you say, like, what do I do? So what are your 2 to 4 words? I do this,
But when I
that.
ask you, what do you do? What do you say?
I'm a speaker and all.
Well, you're a speaker and you're an alpha. I don't want, but see, that doesn't do anything for me. How can you make me money? So try, actually, get a yes out of me.
I'm not interested in getting a guess out of you. I'm not going to a networking meeting to make money from people. I'm going to a networking meeting to build a relationship, to talk to people.
But a yes isn't necessarily money. A yes is a relationship. Hi, I'm a graphic artist who makes beautiful images. If you're not on the web, you should be. I can help. Would you like that? Yes.
I'm going to disagree because I've done really great.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah, because I really believe that it doesn't, if I'm not interested in graphic design, or I already have a graphic designer who I love, well, then there's no yes there. But it doesn't mean that there's not a reason for me to be able to be in touch with this person. I talked to 5 or 6 people here who have email platforms. Doesn't mean that, and I'm happy with my email platform, but maybe I'm interested in hearing more about theirs, or maybe I have 5,000 contacts on Facebook who are interested in email platforms, and maybe someday I go, you know what? I'm going to write a blog post about this, because people ask me all the time, what email platform should I be on? And I'm going to remember the people that I met here at Matt's event, and go, oh, you know what, I'm going to call you up and ask you some questions about your platform, and now I'm driving traffic to your site. So now that's a win for them, Because why? They got backlinks from my site, which happens to be 10 years old, and that's a win for me because I'm driving traffic to my site, people are like, oh, she's authority, she knows that. She knows the people. Ooh, she should go to Matt Basics. And now I'm here, making money. Everybody's happy, and I built relationships over years. And then when you get cancer, and you send an email to 30,000 people the night before your surgery, you say, please pray for me, you get a miracle. That's what happens when you don't get a yes out of something, and you build a relationship. That's what
Well, I
happens.
do build relationships. Well, I did build relationships. Did you have cancer?
I did.
Isn't it? By the way, I love being challenged, and I'm all about it. If I've gotten, I think aside from getting $30 out of most of you, which I'm happy about, I also build relationships. Should I not build relationships? But I will tell you that it's a philosophy. And getting a yes doesn't mean you make a sale from somebody, but it means that you have because what happens when you even just said speaker and author, is people ask you all the time, and it's not, and I agree, you can ask whatever you want, but when people ask of you, I would rather you be engaging. I don't like when people say I'm an internet marketer. So what does that mean to the average person? So if you've got a business and you can enroll somebody, so if you say, I take people's businesses, whatever it is, and I make them millions while they sleep, I now want to know more about that person, as opposed to saying internet marketing. I train people to do this, and I'm more open to challenges. I've got a guy, he could say, I'm a vet. Or I've now trained him to say, when you ask him, say, I'm the guy who, when I was little, used to save puppies and cats, and I still do that, I'm a veterinarian. It makes him more human than just saying that one word. So I agree about you asking people, because it's a lot less shallow. But when you get asked, yeah, Brooks, what do you say?
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question.
I do both, actually. So I train myself to be extroverted.
Train yourself, but like, where are you naturally?
I naturally fall where I don't want to walk around people and chit chat. That's why I'm a speaker.
And that's like, cause like my wife is the ADD, outgoing, extremely introvert. So I understand where she's like, she doesn't want to ask a bunch of long-winded questions. She wants to get to the point, and she only wants to deal with people like quickly because that's the ADD and it's out of my comfort zone. So I see both sides. I think they're totally gonna work for different personalities. So the person is terrified of having to sit there and talk to a stranger and squirrel. Like they can't stay focused on like their husband for 30 seconds, much less a stranger that they just met. So that's where I think there's the blend of both things. I think they're both right, but I think it comes down to the personality type to be able to do it.
Brooks, that was an awesome way to say that. Thank you.
Yes. Well, let me just say this real quick. As somebody who's
Oh, really? Okay, it's just this group here.
Yeah, well, that was really great. Right,
Right, so as somebody who's been involved with like connecting people, whatever, in this space for a while, like I think what it comes down to is what your goals are. What he said was true, but what you said was very powerful. What you said is very powerful because the goals you're looking to get, in my opinion. Your goal is, like he was saying, was to get right to the point. Your goal, if it's similar to mine, has been to do similar to what she does when I'm asking about other people, because I truly care about what they have to say, but not just for what's in it for me, but thinking, who do I know who I might be able to introduce them to? That's what I'm thinking. But what you said about how you should frame how you introduce yourself, that's totally on point too. I learned a lot just from you saying that. I'm thinking, my name's Andy, and even though I wouldn't tie that into someone specifically about, that's powerful and everything, I like to be funny. I like to get people's attention through humor sometimes. And I could, like I was thinking Andy, as in the Andy Griffith Show, and then I could whistle.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Absolutely.
And so anyway, my point is, just to wrap this up, is that it depends on what your goals are.
Well, but it's a different, I'm not asking you, if I ask somebody asks you, what do you say?
Okay, that's a good question. I say that, and I was thinking about this, but basically I tell them that I like to find out what makes people tick and then connect people together.
That's cool. And that's more helpful than saying that you're JB Brooklyn.
Right. And so basically what I'll say is that I like to find out what makes people tick, and then if, through the years that I've been involved in this industry, if I know somebody that will help you out, then great, and go from there. So
See, but that what was great about what you said, which is why this is training. Yeah, you don't necessarily know, but I know. But if he said, I had somebody who said, I'm a JV broker. I'm like, I don't know what that means and how I can connect to you.